for me. I don't know where I'm supposed to go, so I just sit back and pray the Lord will take my soul where it wants to go.
You're listening to WeP3 Radio on the Foxhole Radio Network. Currently playing Matt Williams, Heaven and Hell.
1,000 miles between me and the nearest town. I set sail to find myself, and that ship is going down. And this hot asphalt is like the cold depths of the sea. And once you get lost, there's only one place it can lead, and that's a first class ticket to a lonely grave where the sins of my past are calling my name. And I'll have to answer every day.
Left your left, hey. Left right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Conquerors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
Looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left your left, hey. Left right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Good evening. It's Andrea Eichmann here with the People's Patriot Project. And we are here bringing you our weekly show called We Got Your 6 at 6. Every week we bring you, I shouldn't say every. I mean, we are the guest this week, and Kevin is our guest this week. All right, we have a guest and a musician tonight. We do share all the good and sometimes not so good things happening in our world. This week, this is someone we've hung out with before. This is Kevin Palmer. Please welcome him back. He is an American God-fearing dad, a professional musician, a Nashville recording artist, an actor, and a singer-songwriter. We're excited to hear from Kevin tonight, so stick around for that. Our sponsors for tonight's episode include Catch-22 with Derek Iozio, Operation Texas Strong, the Boho Hobos Hideaway with Lauren Iozio, also our guest last weekend, and our very own Kimmer Gwinner. Kimmer will be sharing some of her talents and her gifts later tonight. And then we also have Brian Kenzer. He's with us. He supports WeP3 with his business called Smart Living Today. This is about American-made products and a stream to help support the People's Patriot Project while you shop. Come support us, and we'll show you how to support your health, an American manufacturer, American jobs, and WeP3 all in one simple decision. We'll give you more information as the night goes on that one. And the People's Patriot Project, We Got Your 6 at 6. This show can also be heard on Rees Cross America Radio on Sundays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's always the week following, right? So tonight we can see last week's episode. You can find Rees Across America Radio on the iHeart Radio app, the Odyssey app, and TuneIn app. Just search the word Wreath. And I actually have a link for you right here. Tonight, before we get started, we would like to ask you to take off your hats, stand if you can, cover your hearts, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boom! Here we go. It is. Today's the date is. It's September 1st.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Did any of you guys get to do a summer? I mean, I did not get to do a summer, so I'd say I have no idea what you guys got to do all the last 3 months. But I am done doing what I was doing. I'm not going to do it again. Not. But good to have you here, Brother Palmer.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been a minute. Excited to have you back. Hearing about the patriotism in your word and your mission and what you get done. We'll get to that here in a minute. Jonathan, what do you got in the news, brother?
So September is National Service Dog Month. This takes place to show appreciation to our four-legged friends who often play a huge role in the lives of humans. Service dogs are trained to take care of humans suffering from certain ailments, disabilities, or mental health issues. The sole purpose of their life becomes to aid human companion and make their lives easier. There are about 500,000 registered service dogs in the U.S. today. September is also Suicide Prevention Month. In recent years, society has become more open and receptive to discussions and conversations on suicide. However, there's still a stigma surrounding it, and with suicide rates increasing, still means that the right help is not reaching people on time. It's one of the fastest growing epidemics around the world, with approximately 44,000 people in the U.S. alone dying by suicide every year. Suicidal thoughts can plague anyone regardless of age, gender, or social status. Commonly linked to depression, there is no foolproof indicator of suicidal tendencies. Many people suffering from depression or suicidal thoughts cover them up quite well. It is our responsibility to be there for each other, our friends, and our families. And if the suicide rate is ever going to fall, then we should all educate ourselves on suicide prevention practices. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. There are around 1.4, I forgot a word there, but I think it's 1.4 million suicide attempts in the U.S. in 2019. And 93% of Americans surveyed believe that suicide could be prevented. this month being Suicide Prevention Month, there's a lot of areas that have just walks or get-togethers, gatherings for people who want to support suicide, people who've unfortunately experienced or either an attempt or the unfortunate circumstance where people have experienced suicide through a loved one or something of that nature. So look out in your communities this month especially, and most of the time it doesn't cost anything just to go out there and walk and show support. And it's a great way to increase the awareness and let people know that there are others out there that will help them and that want to help them. September 2nd, that's tomorrow, it's Labor Day. Some of us will have the day off work. I will. But that day is set aside to celebrate the American workers' contributions to our country. This is the U.S. Department of Labor's official tribute to American workers on Labor Day. The vital force of labor added materially to the highest standard of living and the greatest production the world has ever known, and has brought us closer to the realization of our traditional ideals of economic and political democracy. It is appropriate, therefore, that the nation pays tribute on Labor Day to the creator of so much of the nation's strength, freedom, and leadership, the American worker. Absolutely. I'm an American worker, so I agree. But that's it for the news.
Thank you, Jonathan. You said something in there that I appreciated, and it's weird because I sent Andrea a little message this week about a campaign I would like to start, and it's about getting the crest out there, getting the beacon out there, getting the green out there. And you know what? We always make a big hype and huff and poo-poo about the people that are stealing valor. And, you know, I'm not going to get on that bandwagon. And there's some people that are having the conversation about how even maybe there might be people in the political arena that are stealing valor at this time. And I'm like, you know what? Why not be part of valor? And let's spin this thing. I mean, if people want to serve and give the notion that they serve, then let's put them on the spot to serve. So I concoct this little thought that said, be part of valor and wear the crest. Be part of the mission. They all have already done it. Now it's your turn or our turn. Protecting our community and country is all of our jobs. When did it come where we just get to sit back and eat lasagna and ho-hos and bonbons and rely on the men and women in service to protect our freedoms, and then at the same time we don't have to plan or create a plan for our safety because our first responders are there to come running when we dial 911. That somewhere along the line there was a misconnect. It is all of our jobs. I don't think I'm talking to the right people right now, too, unfortunately, because I think the people in our arena and our crowd kind of get the idea. That's why they all served. But that is also why we call ourselves We the People, the People's Patriot Project. There's a lot of people that hang their hat on that concept of We the People. That concept is patriotism. That concept is our country. That concept is all the pieces you get to do and be part of because you invest in that freedom by protecting what's yours. And I'm okay with protecting what's yours. If you're part of the big plan of taking care of everyone, I don't know. I might be off on a little tangent right now, but it is ludicrous to think that we've got 40,000 people committing suicide every year. Now, use the numbers and use that, 6,000 of them are veterans every year. That's not half, it's not a third, but at the same time, Veterans only hold 6% of our entire community. So that number is astronomically higher. And that's why we serve who we serve. There was a moment in time when you can call it civil unrest here in the state of Minnesota. And we got called out as the People's Patriot Project because we were only helping service members. And I'm like, sorry you didn't hear about the truckload of gear we took down to the community, because the people of the community came and donated to us. And there was some stuff there that didn't fit. It does me no good to hand a jar of Prego spaghetti sauce to someone who's down holding their weapon, protecting the Capitol, protecting the streets. That jar of Prego sauce does us no good. The rice-a-roni did us no good. We loaded it up on a truck, took it to a community center downtown Minneapolis, and we took care of the people down there. We took care of everybody with the means that we had. And it was always interesting that there's always someone that can say and turn around and says, well, you didn't do enough. I'm like, you know what? This comes back to our call of action. What are you doing? And if you're not doing anything, you're part of the problem. Sorry, not sorry. That's what we got. Sorry, I ranted for a minute, but I will get there. Bottom line, we're about serving. Dustin Bergeron, help us out with this. I don't know. I did a little quick search. I know the Veterans Group has a VGLI. I am not familiar with VHLI. If you're looking or in need, again, we no promises, no guarantees. We have a plethora of resources with the People's Patriot Project that we can get you into having conversations with people. We even got an organization here in Minnesota, but we've got several organizations across the country that helps with service dogs, and we've got some resources. But Dylan Petrie, good to see you here. Jeremy Daniels, always a blessing to have you, brother. I saw Brian Gibson in here with Project Die Hard. Good to see you, brother. We're all here. We're all here. And we got Mr. Kevin Palmer in the house. How you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Did anyone have the with it all? And it's not, I didn't do it. When was the last time Mr. Palmer was on our show?
Ooh.
Yeah, I looked, but that doesn't mean I remembered. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
let me look. It's really quick.
It's been a minute.
It doesn't have to be, we don't have to air it. I thought maybe someone had it at their hip, and maybe Mr. Palmer, and again, I'm putting you in a bad spot here. Do you remember who you were on here with?
There was several guests that night.
It's all right if you say you guys. I was on here with you guys. Yeah, you were. Thanks. It was good to have you. What have you been up to, brother?
I've been busy. I've been going nonstop. We're filming a new independent movie in Florida. It's kind of a throwback to the old action comedies of the 80s with family values. I have a main part. I'm the crooked sheriff in town, trying to bust some bootlegging moonshiners. I just released an album, got that done. It just released last week. It's available on my store at www.kevinpalmermusic.com, and you can also purchase it online. You can make online purchases pretty much anywhere music is distributed. So we've been recording, we've been running down to Florida filming, we've been out playing a lot of festivals, doing some ghost hunting, doing some variety shows. And we've been trying to help out too. Last weekend, we were honored to help the Wake Foundation, the Missouri chapter. We were cooking Boston butts for selling them for our vets.
What is the thing that inspires you? Because, like, again, you drive. Why? What is the reason? What is the purpose? You continually give so much in this nature.
Well, that's a deep question, but I'll shorten it. I'll shorten the answer as much as possible. I come from a family of musicians. My dad was known as the guitar player of the family, and we lost him when I was young. He was only 25 years old. So I injured my back and went through rehab and surgery and all that. And whenever I was laying in bed and couldn't do anything, I decided that I was going to do something I enjoyed, and that was the music. And what keeps me going is I'm trying to accomplish everything that he didn't get the chance to. So he was 25 years old when he passed. And so I'm just trying to make him proud and do everything that he didn't get the opportunity to do.
I just want to reach into that bag, though. And what do you feel that he didn't get a chance to do? I mean, it's obvious when you are 25 years old and you lose the breath in your lungs. I mean, there's decades and decades of opportunity there. What is something you think he missed that you think you're fulfilling?
Well, from a simplistic point of view, the main thing is to take the music somewhere new and bring something new back home. And that was our first goal when we started doing this. We wanted to take our brand of music to new places, and we wanted to make the memories. And we meet so many friends that I would never have gotten the opportunity to meet. And now I'm starting to try to use it as my platform. I enjoy making music, but I want to use it as my platform to do what good I can, basically.
Do you feel that you're accomplishing what your goals are for this?
I'm sure trying. We've had a really good year. I've been really blessed. We are currently, this year, we're up for 9 Josie Music Awards, which are the biggest independent country music awards in the world. And we've reached across the ocean, and we are nominated for 6 country music awards overseas in Europe.
Outstanding. I hate doing this because it's literally not about the WeP3 team. It's literally not about Andrea and myself. We're very familiar with the Josie Awards, and we love having the opportunity. We don't know if we're going to get back to do some of the things that we've done in the past, but during the Josie Awards, we've brought 2 years ago, we took 26 veteran musicians into the Nashville area and did what was called the WeP3 Nashville Takeover. And we played 6 venues in 5 nights. And we had and this is a proud moment for me, because by no means should we have ever been able to be in this platform, in this arena, or in this space. And because of Mrs. Passantino, Miss Josie, and her amazing mother who run the Josie Awards, we reached out to them and said, hey, we're here to support veterans and first responders. Is there a chance that we could come and be part of your red carpet. And this is what happened.
I'm Mark Peterson with the People's Patriot Project.
And I'm Andrea Eichman with the People's Patriot Project.
And we are live here in Nashville at the Josie Awards at the Grand Ole Opry.
Tonight we'll be interviewing several of the nominees for Josie Awards.
Come be part of the shock and awe. Patriot Pride.
Are you going to Nashville for the event?
Yes, sir.
So this is, we don't have time to set up the event. The event's in the latter part of October. I believe it's the 23rd this year. I don't have it right off the top of my head, but it's right around that space. But there might be a reason, Andrea and team members, if I think maybe we should go support our veterans regardless. What do you guys think?
Always.
I think there's, I know that, oh gosh, I'm going to lose my brain. Adam Martin.
Black.
Yep.
I
We're
can see him.
terrible guests, terrible hosts. Adam is always lined up there. I did see that several of our other veteran musicians, and I'm doing terrible because I know that we've got so many, and it's great and it's grand, which is a good segue to, when you get the chance, tune into WeP3 Radio. You heard it at the beginning of the show. We have 180 veteran musicians that get to come and play, and we get the amazing opportunity to showcase their talent. And so thank you all to those who submitted and have been part of that opportunity. We're looking to grow it bigger, better, badder, and just tune in. It's 100% music, 24/7, all veteran and first responder musicians. Are we lined up? And this is a little bit of me with my ignorance. How are we lined up for music tonight, Jonathan? With your microphone on, brah.
We have several songs ready to go, but we need the backup visuals for them.
Oh, well, we know where those are at, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So the last time I was on, you asked me that earlier, Brian Conwell was on with me. I couldn't recall his name. Big Country.
Okay.
Big
Oh,
Country.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That was back in November of 22.
Look at you go. I appreciate that. No, so almost 4 years, or almost 2 years, the math will math eventually. Almost 2 years ago. Gosh. I wonder if Jimmy Fallon ever has this problem where he just constantly goes and then all of a sudden it's like, what happened? Of course, he's got probably a little bit bigger team than we do.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably a lot smarter than us. No offense. I mean, I'm talking to me when I'm saying that, and know that maybe these are things that we should have ready to roll. I know that our good friend, Contagion Effect, does a pretty good job of making sure that he's got those dates lined up when he does it. But what, Kevin, do you know what songs you got lined up for us tonight?
I had sent over the link. I don't know if you guys are going to play it tonight, but the new video I just released, Dead Man Walking, it stars Leland Chapman from the Dog the Bounty Hunter show.
Oh, yeah.
The main star of that video. I don't know if you guys are set up to play that tonight or not. If not, it is on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find.
We'll be set up by the end of the show. I'll have that ready to go.
Okay.
Sweet.
Do we have, Jonathan, can you real quick rattle off one of the audio files we got? I got it.
Yeah, so I actually have four ready to go. It's Cotton Belt Queen, Summer Rain, Freight Train, and Smoking Gun.
Which one would you like to start off with, Kevin?
Let's do Summer Rain. That's one of the first songs I ever wrote.
Okay. Is there a lead into that?
That song is simply about, I wrote that song on the back of an electric bill at a low point in my life. It was kind of a moment of realization where it occurred to me that every single problem I have had in my life was nobody's fault but my own. And that's kind of what the song is about.
Wow. Would that be interesting if everyone would take that thing to thought? That'd be weird. That'd be weird. It'd be good. This is Summer Rain by Kevin Palmer.
I watch her go away, standing here drowning in the summer rain. Sunshine, just go away, leave me drowning in the summer rain. 'Cause every blue sky seems thunder rain, every pretty smile has tasted some pain. I wish I weren't always the one who's to blame, standing here drowning in the summer rain. Sky seen thunder rain, every pretty smile has tasted some pain. I wish I weren't always the one who's to blame, standing here drowning in the summer rain. I know these storms can't last, not the first sky I've seen overcast. I hold the remedy in my glass. I know these summer rains always seem to pass. 'Cause every blue sky seen thunder rain, every pretty smile has tasted some pain. I wish I weren't always the one who's to blame, standing here drowning in the summer rain, standing here drowning in the summer rain.
That is Summer Rain by Kevin Palmer.
There we go. Sorry, there was buttons everywhere. I didn't know which ones to press.
You're good, brother.
That song, man.
What do you think?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's funny because I find myself going through that are trying to explain that portion of life to people, about what it's like when you come to that realization, right? And I have this conversation a lot, but I appreciate that song even more now, knowing where it's come from and the thought process behind it.
You just recently had a post about kind coming to the realization that a lot of the stuff that we deal with actually is stuff that we've created on ourselves. If you don't follow Jonathan Crochet and Bourbon Battle Buddies, he pretty religiously does a post every single day in regards to self-thought, self-concept, and just growth. And so make sure you're checking Jonathan out and I don't know, be part of the message and part of the growth. Kevin, you gave us a lead into that song. Is there anything you think of while you're listening to that song back now at this time in life?
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed about it because that's kind of like my transition, taking responsibility for your own actions. That's really when you do start to grow. And it's so easy to point the finger at everyone else and to say, I didn't get here because of this or that, or this has held me back, when that's really not the truth. You really are your own worst enemy. You know, that old Bible verse, you're going to reap what you sow. You know, so we try to plant good seeds and sow good things now.
It's when I was taking my master's class, it's been a number of years now, but everyone had to find a quote that kind of summed up their philosophical self. And I didn't want to complicate. You know, a lot of people are coming up with these huge, you know, Martin Luther King quotes and you name it, you know, Mahatma Gandhi, and mine actually was claimed to unknown source, and I'm sure it was probably Old Man Withers out there using mules to pull his plow, and it was as simple as plant beans, get beans. And I think we forget that very simple concept. If you it's the basics of basics. And again, even in your narrative there, you said, you know, planting the seeds. That's really, really what it's all about. If you love strawberries, and you got to do what it takes to make strawberries, and that's a different monster in the fact that they just are not going to grow anywhere or everywhere, and there's a reason why they don't. And you've got to take care of those plants, and you know, I don't know that if you plant beans anywhere and everywhere, they just grow beans. But I guarantee you, if you plant beans, you're not getting strawberries. And that's, thanks. I mean, it's awesome to get that message and just reflect. How often do you need to look in the mirror to realize that you pretty much start the day everywhere at that same spot, and you are in control of your space and time. If you're not part of the solution, you might be part of the problem.
That's right.
Miss Kimmer, what do you got tonight?
Well, I'd like to elaborate on the seeds. When I was working for the VA as peer support, I was holding groups and I was trying to teach them a lesson. So I got a whole bunch of kidney beans in a bucket, put the bucket down, and I gave everybody kidney beans. They sat around the room. I said, okay, throw a kidney bean, but don't hit me. So they all were trying to get it to go in the bucket. Some of them made it. They were real proud of themselves. But at the end, I told them, I says, you know what? It's in the bucket. It didn't grow. Your seeds need to be out. There's no such thing as being perfect. Your seeds need to be sowed. You got to grow.
Let's grow. How do you spell that, Jonathan?
So it's spelled Greaux.
Let's grow. Oh, I'm just like in that nostalgia. Kevin, you got us in this space now that it's like self-reflection, self-growth, self-pieces, all the things. Just what load are you willing to carry today, brothers and sisters? That's the reality. If you're not willing to carry a load, don't expect someone else to carry it for you. That's the other piece of this. You gotta build that plant, to build that stock, build that relationship. You got to start at basics, and you got to get this done. What are some of the things you're working on right now, Mr. Palmer?
Well, I'm back to write. I'm writing new music. We just finished this album. We're going to keep going. I'm writing some new songs. We're going to finish the movie, which is called Uncle T's Farm Stand, in late fall. So that'll be released the beginning of next year. We've got the Josie Music Awards coming up. We have the Red Carpet Music Awards, which is, it's going to be held online this year at the end of September. We've got a couple more shows coming up, and hopefully we can squeeze another video shoot in there.
We've got the link to your music up in here so everyone can make sure they get a chance to go check your stuff out and download and listen and put it out there. Who generally in your life has, we know the story of your father, so that's a gigantic part of inspiration. I don't want to delineate from that, but as far as music's concerned, who is your inspiration?
Well, I have a very complicated and long story, but after my father passed, I've got a picture of me at 3 years old holding a guitar wearing a pearl snap Western shirt. I already knew what I wanted to be. But when he passed, that became so painful for me that I ended up blocking it all out, and I didn't want to be a cheap carbon copy of him. And so I stayed away from music all my life, even though my family were all musicians. I wanted nothing to do with it anymore. It brought back a lot of painful memories, and it was hard for me to deal with. Fast forward to whenever I was 25, I had a son born with bilateral anophthalmia, which means he was born without eyes. He's totally blind. He's autistic. He's nonverbal. And we were so lost as parents, and he was so delayed, we really didn't know what we were doing. And there weren't a lot of resources out there to kind of help show you the way. And I noticed one day I had bought him a toy keyboard that played music automatically, and I noticed he was trying to wiggle to it, and ended up teaching him to crawl with it. And I ran down to the music store, bought a cheap guitar, and started teaching myself how to play it. And he loved it so much that became our thing. And people started to see that. I told him he started walking down the walls to get to the guitar, and that became our music time. That was our bonding time, because if you think about it, a child like that isn't going to sit down and watch cartoons with you. You have to have alternative ways to entertain yourself, and that was our way. And he loved it so much, it kind of came around full circle for me, and it kind of healed a lot of those wounds. And so people started seeing that, and they started hiring me as a guitar player, and one thing led to another, and here I am today, singing and writing songs. But he still loves music just as much. He gets absolutely tickled with it. Music's a big part of both of our lives. We've always got it going, and we listen to so many different things.
This was the conversation, and again, it hurts my heart a little bit that we can't remember every conversation, but that was the part that kind of inspired me last night. Not inspired me, but I remember that story you telling about how you playing your guitar, and it created a new movement. It created a new drive, a new life for your son. And I remember that conversation now. I wish we were better at doing the notes and making sure that we review those before the show, because that would make me a better podcaster. But again, that is so awesome that you have found this outlet to give something. You're trying to give more to the world, but again, you're giving something more to an individual that probably was pretty lost in their space, and you found a tool that gave him that opportunity to literally live more. And that's one of the reasons why we do showcase and drive with the music concept, because everyone needs to eat. Everyone eats every single day, regardless of, and maybe they don't eat every single day. I get that there's some people that live with, food lack of. I can't remember the right terminology they use, but not having enough food. But music is also that feeder. And I know that a gigantic portion of our world uses music to find their space in a day, to find their brain, to find their thought, to find their life, to find their relationships. They use music to that. And you understand, I don't need to tell you anything, Mr. Palmer, but what an amazing gift that provides, not only for your family, but for the rest of the world. And just the fact that we can spur so much conversation off Let It Rain. And I'm excited to hear more. We've been listening to you for 2 years now. I'm just sitting here listening to messages and watching messages come through our network as we're doing this. And we got Travis Partington out there with Oscar Mike Radio, building relationships with Adam Bird, with Heroes Media Group. Good things coming, great things happening. And this is all for the sake of making someone else's life. We don't know whose it is. It's all about making someone else's life better, hopefully forever, but at least for the moment. And again, that's why we do what we do. We're on the mission. We'll talk more about some of our plan of actions here coming up. Miss Kimmer, did you have a poem you want to share tonight?
I sure do. It is called I Build Walls. I built walls. I built walls to keep me safe, but it really wasn't a safe place. I thought it was to keep others out, but I really didn't think about how it's really invisible and there's no structure. And just like air, it was easy to puncture. But what I actually did to me was different, you see. It kept me from being me, and that's not the way to be. I mostly at times did the blame and shame to try to make sense of my pain. There wasn't anyone else to share the fear and nobody around to wipe my tears. I was lost and alone all by myself. I wanted to die. Oh, how that feeling felt. I'm glad, however, that I was given chances to live, because my grave is not ready for them to dig. I built walls that I thought were strong because I didn't feel as though I belonged, but they weren't enough to protect me from me, because when I built the walls, there were no keys.
I love it. I love it. You're an inspiration, Miss Kimmer, and thank you for your life stories that you always put out there.
I hope it helps.
Well, and Miss Kimmer, do you want to share real quick tell us what the inspiration of your word art is?
Well, I started writing to help me understand me. It was a release, a way to get everything out. And everybody started telling me, because I would read them, I would share them, I would post them, and they say, write a book, put it in a book, put it in a book. So I did that, and I was afraid to, because I thought my drill sergeant would find me. And it still gets to me, but I do it to try to help people, to let them know they're not alone. I've tried to commit suicide, murder suicide, and Thankfully, it didn't happen. It was close. But if you work hard, you can get through whatever you're going through. There's people out there to help you. You know, the PPP family is here for you. I'm sure if you contact them, call them, they'll answer the phone. Mark's really good about that. Andrea's good about that. Jonathan's good about that. There's peer support groups out there online. Get involved in the community. Find things to do to keep you happy. You know, you once you go through the trauma, you forget who you really are, and you have to relearn. And you want to change, and you want to be better. So like Mark says, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And writing is what I do to be part of the solution.
You are an amazing gift, Miss Kimmer. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Mark.
Crochet, we got that video lined up?
Your mic's not on.
Sorry. I keep muting it to cut out background noise, but Dead Man Walking is ready to go.
So, Mr. Palmer, will you lead us into this one more time and tell us the title and some background to it?
I think, is this the new one, Dead Man Walking? This is the newest release. It just came out. And it stars my good friend Leland Chapman from Dog the Bounty Hunter. I think everybody knows him. And I'll just let you interpret it however you want to.
Awesome. This is Dead Man Walking. Kevin Palmer.
I'm a dead man walking. You can look at me, but don't look too long. I'm a dead man walking, staring down the wrong end of the gun. I'm a dead man walking. God knows I never run. I can't take the chains that bind me. I can't stop the memories. I got the devil creeping up behind me, and she won't rest till she gets to me. Still takes my breath away. She says it's forever.
It's forever, baby. Now.
We still take it day by day.
Yeah, we take it day by day.
I'm a dead man walking. She don't want it no other way. Chains that bind me,
chains that bind me, no.
I can't stop the memories.
Stop the
I never run.
That is Dead Man Walking by Kevin Palmer.
You didn't hurt that guitar, did you?
It took a little damage.
Uh-oh. Did you get a taste test any moonshine during that?
I did, unfortunately.
You guys didn't have fun doing that, did you?
Yeah, it was a blast. And I got to thank my people on that. I got to give a big thanks to our local sheriff, Carl Hefner, and the Stoddard County Justice Center for helping us make that happen. We actually used an active county jail, and the rest of my guys, Moonshiner Jimmy Ricker, Steve Barker, my brother Roger, and then the rest of the team, Arab Station, Shelby Gillian Farms, they all kind of came together and we made this, but that was the funnest one we've done so far. It was a blast.
I was gonna say, it's always work at the end of the day, but you know what? When you're having fun doing it, it's not too much work.
And also, I got to shout out my brother, Gretus Gibson with Time to Re-Up Films. We flew him in from Georgia we only had one camera guy, so we ran him ragged trying to do all these scenes, and we got so much footage. I mean, we could have put together a 30-minute episode probably. So we ran him down pretty good, but he hung in there with us, did a great job.
Outstanding. Good stuff. Where was this filmed at?
Missouri, all southeast Missouri.
Okay. Outstanding. Well, again, if you want to hear and see Mr. Palmer and his music, make sure you log on to his. The links are in all of our show stuff. We'll get it logged in here and put up here one more time so people can find it easily. But it's kevinpalmermusic.com, www. Does anyone do you have to say www anymore?
No. Only us old folks do that now,
Sure.
Great.
Is Timothy Newton in the house? Did I see that?
No, I was tagging him.
Oh, you were. Yes.
Seeing if I can get him in here.
Another Missouri musician, the Tim Newton band down there in the Ozarks. So when I asked the question, what are you working on? You literally went through what's up next. And so I'm stuck here a little bit. I'm not a good enough interviewer to say I was going to ask you for help. I was going to help.
It interrupted the script.
There's a stick across the ant line, and I'm the next ant. I don't know where to go next. He shouted out his band. He shouted out the people he's working with. Tell me about your greatest personal musical experience.
Well, I do have to say this because I never dreamed that this would happen. But every musician and every person that loves music, you kind of have your I call them my country heroes, okay? I grew up listening to some of the country greats, and I record all my music at Mystics Recording Studio in Nashville. And they are awesome. But I say that because I end up getting to work with a lot of my country heroes down there. And it's a surreal experience to look across the studio and see somebody that you've watched since you were a kid. Like, for example, on the song you just played, I always have the same rhythm section. Darla Ray Perlozzi, who she's the drummer. She was Mark Chestnut's drummer for a long time. She has a song that she wrote that was recorded by Big and Rich that the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders still use to this day. Her husband, Timmy, he is currently playing for Tracy Bird in Touring the World. Incredible bass player. And on guitar, one of my favorite guitarists, James Mitchell. He's played for everybody. He's the guy that's playing. If you ever heard the song "In Color" by Jamie Johnson, he's the guy playing the guitar on that song.
Oh,
He's
yes.
played for George Jones, Alan Jackson. He's the guy playing the guitar on "Good Times," "Good Time" by Alan Jackson. And then on that particular track, we had Bruce Bowden, and Bruce is a big star. He's one of the G-men. He's one of Garth Brooks's guys. And normally we have and it's just surreal to be surrounded by those people. And I learned so much just by being around them and talking to them. And they're still out making great music. You know, they're the best in the world. So all you musicians, if there's any musicians out there listening, wondering where you want to cut your songs at, go by and see my friends at Mystics Recording Studio in Music Valley in Nashville. And we, you know, on all the other tracks, we use Steve Henson on the steel guitar. He was Randy Travis's steel player for all those years. He's an incredible guy too. And then we've got my band that I tour with, which has my brother Roger on the guitar, Calvin Baggett on the drums, Jeff Womble on the steel. Jeff's incredible. He toured with Brian White in his heyday. And we've been having Chaz Watkins on the bass. So I'm surrounded by a lot of great musicians, and sometimes I got to pinch myself and ask if this is real life. I never thought that would happen.
We work with a couple of people out in Nashville. We're trying to do some behind-the-scenes fixes for veteran musicians and first responder musicians, and we got the awesome opportunity to go hang with Buddy Hyatt one weekend at Hilltop Entertainment, and the people he pulled into the room, and I'm not smart enough because it's not our space, to be honest with you. But watching Buddy Hyatt, who used to play with Toto, and them laying down songs in the format they do, but there's like 6 Grammy-winning musicians in the room, and we never put that into the play of the game. We always want to know who's standing at the mic. That's what everyone wants to focus. But this music doesn't happen without the men and the women that are behind the mic, the ones that are laying down the instrumental tracks, and just blown away by the opportunities that we've had down there in Nashville. And I get the butterflies. I'm sure you get the butterflies. I mean, in the fact that it's like, oh my gosh, all these people have been part of history. Like, the first people we got to interview on the red carpet was Willie Golden of the Oak Ridge Boys. And I do want to do a quick shout out to the Goldens. They have gone through an absolute monstrous, terrible, just life is life stuff. But the stuff they've gone through, William Lee just lost one of his sons just recently, a band member just recently, and he actually came out and made an announcement. And in a matter of 3 months, he lost like 7 people in his life. Now, I remember when my father got into an older age, and again, Mr. William has been in the industry for 50 plus years. and he's not the youngest troubadour on the block right now. And sadly, that's the life piece. But it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any better. And so I just want to shout out to the Golden family and all the thank you for the amazing gifts you are to our world. And as much as we can be, we're here with you. And thank you for your gift. Thank you for your gift, Mr. Palmer. Your story, your legacy, even don't want to minimize the life of your father at the age of 25, but we don't get to have this product without those life events. And as heartbreaking as that is, I am confident that you would much rather have your father in your life right now than this piece that you're at. But at the same time, the story doesn't exist. The relationship with your son doesn't exist, and all those pieces. So thank you for your story. Thank you for your willingness to come and share it with us. We got another song. We actually got 3 other songs. Is there one that Jonathan mentioned earlier that you felt is one of your swing house songs? We got Cotton Belt Queen and Freight Train and Smoking Gun.
Yeah. When I was putting this album together, I tried to write, I don't want to give away all my secrets, but at the end of the day, a song is nothing more than a story. And so I tried to write some variety on there. I didn't want to tell the same story over and over. So there's a little bit of variety going on there. And I kind of hate being put into a box, but Cotton Belt Queen, it's a song about this area that I live in. There was a famous train back in the 70s, 80s, and even some of the 90s that ran from St. Louis to Tyler, Texas, and it was called the Cotton Belt. We had a lot of cotton pickers around here, and that train was very famous. It brought a lot of jobs to the area. It was even used in a movie called End of the Line. And where I grew up, that part of town was considered, they called it the Cotton Belt because the train ran through there. And it kind of became a derogatory term because it was poor people. That's where all the poor people lived. So I wrote that song thinking back on an older time when things were simpler. We all worked hard out in the fields. My family owned the Boot Hill Jamboree in Burney, Missouri, which was compared to the Grand Ole Opry. They called it the Little Opry. We had a lot of stars that came through and performed there. And so my memories are all good memories, and I wanted to shine a positive light on that and the Cotton Belt.
This is Kevin Palmer with Cotton Belt Queen.
Got an Arkansas tan and Missouri Beach body. Look at her shaking around the bend. And I just can't stand to hear a Texas drawl calling. It makes me want to ramble again. We work in the fields all day picking cotton till I can't even straighten up my back. Miles away I can hear her a-calling, building steam and whistling down the track. She's a Cotton Belt Queen, a rambler's dream, beauty on the silver screen. She's long and lean and 819, Southwestern Cotton Belt Queen. down in Texas and took me up to St. Louis. But you just don't keep a southern gal waiting, so we went on down to Missouri. We held the line way down in the boot hill, the edge of Stoddard County. We had ourselves a time dancing in high cotton at the Blue Hill Jamboree. She's my cotton belt queen, long and lean, a beauty on the silver screen. She's a Rambler's dream at 8:19. It's the end of the line for me.
That is Kevin Palmer with Cotton Bell Queen. Outstanding, brother.
I like that one.
That puts a little skip and trot in your walk when you hear that one. Well, we are at that time and place where we wrap down, and hopefully at some point in the evening you were inspired or driven, A, to a thought, B, to a reflection, or just an inspiration that you think might be important to the world. I hope at some point you will share it with us and share your story if you're listening to the podcast and or to the live stream. And we let Jonathan kind of lead off our round robin closure with what was your inspiring thought of the night, Jonathan?
Going back to the part of the show where we were talking about seeds, and something Miss Kimmer said too, right? You can have all the good intentions in the world, but if you hold on to that and don't plant it, it's not going to grow. It's not going to go anywhere. You got to get your seeds out of the bucket. So they have to find good soil, first of all. They also have to be watered. And again, that comes from pretty much anything, man. Something that builds the person that you're trying to be, whether it's friends or music or whatever, right? That you could water that seed however you choose to, but it has to be something aiming you in the positive direction of where you're already headed. But I had a thought talking about the seeds being planted in good soil. Is how many times have we heard something for the very first time after we've heard it so many times before? And it's just timing and place. You have to be in the right position to receive the things that are being given to you, or the seeds will land on unfertile soil. So make sure that you're headed in the direction, and make sure that that your mind and your heart are a place of growth, so that when the seeds land, they will find room to grow.
Love it. Miss Kimmer. Microphone, if you didn't know.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It wasn't muted.
I had just unmuted it.
Well, yeah, I think the podcast tonight was good. There was some serious feelings in here. We touched a lot of areas, with it being Suicide Prevention Month. People, if you feel alone, contact somebody. Please. Kevin, it was nice meeting you. I love the music. I'm definitely going to get on the site and listen to everything that I can.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I think you're wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Mr. Palmer, any inspirational thoughts for our closing?
Well, I assumed I'd take us out with a song, but I feel like we're all connected. We've all got our highs, we've all got our lows. We all struggle in this thing called life. And people, we're all connected. People feel alone sometimes. And, you know, like the People's Patriot project, it's kind of inspirational because you let them know that they're not alone. So I commend you guys for that. So on that, if you don't mind, I'll just take us out with one.
Do it again, brother.
This is not my song. This is an old song. I'll try not to blast you with volume. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you see, oh, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. If you're in need, won't you stand by me? If the sky you look upon should crumble and fall, and the mountain should stumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. If you're in need, won't you stand by me? Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
That is Stand By Me, cover by Mr. Kevin Palmer. Outstanding.
Love it.
Thank y'all for having me.
You are welcome here anytime, brother. Please let us know what we can do to be promoting you and your music and getting that out for the world to hear. And I really do hope we see you in October.
Yes, sir. Maybe I'll see you over there.
Miss Eichmann.
Yeah. Thank you for that impromptu That was awesome. Kevin, thank you for coming tonight. I just wanted to share with everybody, I also keep up with Kevin on Snapchat. There's a lot of good feed on Snapchat too, right? That's your
I'm terrible at Snapchat. I can barely do it, but I'm learning. I'm trying to learn.
I think that's okay. I'm equally there with you too. So that's not a strong point for me, but just a lot to keep up with. And I think you use the word traditional. And what do you do on your downtime a lot of the time?
Well, downtime is kid time. I help my manager. He owns an elk ranch. He has elk and cattle. So I help him with that. And I don't really feel like we ever actually have downtime. It seems like as adults, we all stay so busy and there's never enough time, there's never enough hours in the day, but that's also what makes life exciting, I guess. I'm definitely not complaining. I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
Very cool. Very cool. Again, thank you. Thanks for being in here tonight. It was exciting to see you again. It is almost 2 years since you were here. So it's flown by because we're fast and busy. So there was a moment of, I guess there was a lot of moments tonight, but just the whole not giving up, but it's okay to put things on hold. It's okay to not realize in the moment what may be of utmost importance. It will come back to you if it's important. Having patience, even though the moment is not right for patience. But just that understanding that my mom and I have this, I won't call it a feud, but a discussion quite often about how struggles make you stronger. And is that what God wants for you? Because I don't think that necessarily the universe or the gods or whatever puts the struggles on you to make you stronger. Like, I'm just going to keep making this person stronger, right? But the way you make it through the struggles and the challenges and reaching your goals, that shows what kind of person you are.
The main thing is showing up. You can't do anything until you put them boots on and show up. I didn't want to talk about this because I'm very careful about what I say because your words have power. But if there are people out there that are going through things, last year we lost Jimmy Buffett. And right after we lost him, I don't know if you can see it, I'm a little partial to the scar on my face. I was diagnosed with the same thing that Jimmy Buffett had. And I've gotten through it with a lot of prayers. And, I wear this cross not only to remind me of who I am, but I want everybody to know what team I'm on. And you are right. You don't ever give up. It may not be your day, but that doesn't mean that tomorrow won't be. Put them boots on, show up, do what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. Jeepers, the words keep coming. So next week we have a gentleman by the name of Aaron Hudgens coming on. And speaking of sticking to your life through thick and thin, his story and his wife's story is quite deep and filled with pushing through challenges and struggles. So make sure you tune in next week to hear Aaron's story. It will be, we get to talk to him on Tuesday, guys, just so you know. I believe he's coming in on Tuesday, so we'll get to know him before he comes on. But so that'll be another good one. And just focusing on, positive thoughts. It might be the crappiest positive of the whole entire day, but try to make it a positive. I don't know. You found your shoe that you were missing. You put them on before you went outside and didn't step on a nail. I don't know what your best positive or your worst positive will be, but keep some positive in your life every day and keep moving forward.
Sorry to interject. I know it's not my turn, but
Oh, no, I'm turning.
I go back to show notes from years before because we keep copies of all of them, and just to make sure that if there's some news that I miss when I go through, that I'm getting everything that's relevant or whatever. Last year on September 1st, the legend of the music industry passed away. Jimmy Buffett died at 76 years old, exactly 1 year ago.
Wow. There is so many things swimming in my mind right now, and this is where we get in trouble. First of all, one of my inspired moments is when you just said you get to work on a cattle and elk ranch. Those are my two favorite proteins in life. Do you get to spend a lot of time eating elk? Because I'd be concerned that I'd be consuming too much of the product if I had a job like that.
Well, not yet. He's just getting his herd built up. So they're all relatively young, and he's got to get them through all the regulations first. So we're working on we're working on getting him there.
I love it. I love it. I love that animal. One of the most majestic animals on the face of the earth, next to the American bison, in my opinion. But the name of our show should be as simple as "Get Your Seeds Out of the Bucket." That's what I think our inspiration of the show is. There are actually like some biblical concepts. We don't get deep into the biblical pieces on this show, but where do you choose to plant those seeds is important. And if it's on the gravel path, I'm not smart enough to know what biblical reference that is, but they talk specifically to that. And sometimes we forget, we create more work for ourselves by not putting it in the place that will foster growth. And so that is important to make sure you focus and look on. But I do think that is the name of our show. The other piece is, Andrea kind of alluded to it. One of my favorite quotes in our network of conversation is 100% of your hardest times and days you have survived. You are here, and you have 100% survived each and every hardest day to this point. If you're sitting here listening to the show, again, I full-heartedly do not expect anyone to do this by themselves. I do not do this, what we do, the People's Patriot Project, by myself. I have an amazing team of people that have come alongside. We have an amazing network of people across the country that chime in, cue in, bring us thoughts, bring us conversations. Again, thank you, Mr. Palmer, for coming on tonight and sharing. It is inspirational, and your words are affecting, and your life has affected me. And again, there's more important people than me, but I appreciate you. We have our call to actions, and the one has been very blatant today, and that is ultimately, what are you doing? If you're not doing anything, you're part of the problem. And so we ask you to find something, take a step, show up. That's what Mr. Kevin Palmer has said. Those words may have come off my lips once or twice in life. I show up, and it's not about me, but it is about the mission. And we regularly will battle a conversation about, we do this about ourselves. I'll be honest, I selfishly do this in the fact that I have built amazing relationships across the country. That feels good to me. So if that's bad, sorry, not sorry. I have had several conversations with many people across the time since we started. The soft start of the People's Patriot Project started back in 2012, and we lost roughly 36,000 veterans from the time I started the People's Patriot Project until I said it's time to quit holding this close to my heart and get it out there. And then, so since 2018, we've had several conversations, and we know who those people are who have reached out to us and have said, hey, thank you. What you have done and what you are doing helped open my eyes, and I was able to see the beacon green, and I'm here because of it. And I can't tell you how great and awesome that does make me feel. But we have no power or control over that. That is through the power and strength of the people that do happen to see the beacon. And if the beacon's not shining, it's not available. So we need each and every one of you to like, share, broadcast, let people know that there are opportunities for veterans and first responders. And you know what? We also take care of those who did not sign up for the mission, the loved ones of those men and women who have served, because they didn't sign up for it, but yet they are the glue that holds it all together. You can argue if anyone reached into our network and asked for help, they would get the help that they needed. It's just what we do, because we the people, the People's Patriot Project. All of us have a device in our hand, and our call to action is simple, because it is a call to action. We're asking you to do something. That is the mission. And we ask you on a text thread, on a text line. It doesn't have to be designated to anyone to start off with. I guess you got to do that in this world now. But I just want you to type, I was thinking about you. And I want you to hold down that line, and I want you to copy that. And I'm going to ask you to send that to 6 people in your contact list. And if this sounds like a broken record, again, sorry, not sorry. We do it every single weekend. And I'm not confident everyone's doing it. The reason why I'm not confident, we're still losing 6,000 veterans a day. I'm not confident we're doing this because the numbers, and we can't calculate the numbers and the number of first responders that are taking their lives today. Our mission is not just about suicide. Our mission is just not about PTSD. Our mission is about everything in life that seems to be a moment for someone who's struggling. That's what our mission is. Reach out to 6 people in your contact list. Say, I was just thinking about you. And I'm going to ask you to take a step further. I want you to contact that one person that things got sideways at some time in your life. Things got sideways because of something silly. You know in your mind it's silly. You have the chance to be called, if you want to be the bigger person, whatever. It's not about being bigger. It's not about being smaller. It's about taking care of that relationship. It's about getting the damn bean out of the bucket. It's about growing. I want you to reach out to that. And I'm not asking you to do ex-wives and girlfriends and boyfriends. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to that one relationship. I say this out loud. I lost someone in my life, and if this sounds broken recordish, I'm sorry again, but I did lose someone in my life that if I had reached out sooner, they probably could be here today. Now, I don't carry that as a weight. I don't lay awake at night worrying about it. That's not my style. But do I miss my brother? I do miss my brother. If I wasn't such a pig-headed turd nugget, I might be able to still be able to talk to him when I want to. All of us got one of those relationships. Fix it. Be part, or at least, and if they don't reach back to you, you know what? Guess what? You've done your job. Again, Mr. Palmer, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for the WeP3 team for doing all the work that you do. It does not go unnoticed, and you are helping make sure that our green does not go unseen. Remember, we are all responsible for our communities and country and where we are at. And there's another call thing I want to say, and I can't remember right off the top of my head. It'll get better. It'll be more pure. live with a purpose. That's what it is. Live with a purpose. And when you're doing that, you get to lead with a purpose. We thank you all for being here this weekend. Come see us on Monday at 4:30 for the WeP3 debrief. That's when we just talk about the People's Patriot Project and what we're working on. I'm assuming most of the team will be there. It is a Labor Day, so again, make sure you're spending time with your family. I got a new griddle that I just seasoned, and I got a plan for that. I know on Labor Day we'll be doing that. There might be a couple beverages involved with that as well. And again, build the network, folks. This is how we're going to save lives. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And Mr. Palmer, if you got a minute to hang out after, don't go anywhere. If you got to go, we understand. But we appreciate everyone. We will see you when the smoke clears. Patriot Pride.